Good morning, yo. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, yo? Let me take some time out just to talk to you, show you how life should be glowing. If you look out your window every day, seems like it's snowing, you know you're not happy. Well, where I say snow don't make me happy. So let's talk about the hood, yeah. Wake up each day, get yourself dressed, impressed to the world you have to go face. Head out the door, what a disgrace. The smile on your face is turned to a waste. See the pain destruction straight outside, makes you wanna grab your heart and start to cry. Damn, now I've gotta fork out some change and give it to the people that be living on the streets. Man, they be suffering to eat. I can't really live and see them get defeat. Gotta help everybody as I can. You know I ain't the man, but I do what I can. I see people crying, holding out their hands just to try and make a little change, my man. Understand, if we can, we help them out. Don't leave them outside in this hot ass drought. No water in their mouth, they gon' starve to death. Everybody can see how to rep them grips. Dangerous, no feet, got dangerous beats. I'm telling them to stop beat defeat. There's no way out, it can't get yourself a job, get a new crib. No, that's what's up. Now how do we get these people straight out of love? Yeah, you can say to yourself, they fucked up. They fucked up, we all do. Do we leave them outside to die like you do? Huh? But you had the chance to make it. As you can see, these people fall and break it. Their foot, now they can't walk. They've done the talk, and now they've got thoughts of getting out of it. It won't happen though. Yo, good morning, good morning. Just a little bit of content. Now, I'm coming at a way different angle right now. I was watching this show that I'm about to show you, and it reminded me something about history, my history, not history that I wasn't alive for. You know, just things like, I remember stories back in the day, like, you know, when like knowing about things like zoos and stuff like that, animals being captured and stuff like that. And it was like one day these animals are all gonna break out of zoos and they're gonna get revenge back on mankind, stuff like that. And at the same time, thinking about that made me think about slavery. Do you understand? So anyway, this video, I'm going to show you how capturing animals, putting them in zoos, is something similar to slavery, and the effects of what could happen being around people you captured, right? Am I even explaining this right? I don't think I am. So I'm just gonna play and explain as we go along.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're doing another Croc Talk podcast with Casper. We just got done swimming in there, still got my wetsuit bottom on. But on this one, what we want to try to talk about is how these animals have a very dynamic personality, or I guess personality is not the right word. They do have that too, but what I mean is how they can change their behavior throughout the day, and it can be drastically different. And so I get a lot of questions from people when they see like a minute-long video, and they're like, well, we didn't attack you in that minute-long video, which means they won't attack you, right? And it's like, no, you can't get an evaluation of how the animal acts throughout its life based on a 30-second or 1-minute video. And so I really try to teach people that they will change their behavior based on what's happening in that moment. And even if you've worked with that animal for 10 years and he's never tried to attack you, one day he might try to attack you.
So you see where I'm kind of going with this show already. So the points I'm trying to show you is, this man's going to show you about how capturing animals or having animals, you know, in captivity, you know what I'm saying, are still dangerous. People think from these videos that seeing an animal like this being calm and stuff, means that they won't ever attack you. So anyway, while I was watching this, it kind of made me think of things like slavery. Same concept. You know, being released from slavery, escaping from slavery, having trust in a slave, even though that slave, you've had that slave most of his life, and you're, you know. Anyway, let's keep going, because you'll understand more as we go along.
And, they're going to change based on information that you may not understand, that maybe they perceive differently from you. And they're going to change their behavior based on that. So one of my favorite examples when we're hanging out like this is he's not attacking me. Obviously, this gator's tame and it doesn't bite, right? If I were to fall down next to him right now, he's going to grab me. So right now he sees me, he knows me. Yes, he knows me. I've worked with him for 15 years and he recognizes me as an individual. Yes, they can also tell people apart. So he knows me as an individual. He knows I'm not a threat. He's not acting defensively towards me right now. But if I were to become disadvantaged in some way and he were to see the opportunity, then he would go for it. Like right now, if I were oh my God, and I fell and look at that, real fast, spin around right there to try to grab my hand. He might try to bite my leg too. You're eating sand.
So I want to say this. Notice what he said. As soon as I make a mistake and they get that opportunity, they're going to take it. Well, I honestly think that most races think that about black people. I honestly do. I honestly do. And I know the man himself listening to this will agree to what he just said. Make sure you keep them in the realm that you created them for, because if you don't, then that's the mistake, and they can attack from that mistake.
The sand. All right. I didn't actually fall. You can't actually eat me now. But this is the tamest gator ever that never bites. He would have grabbed my arm right there. And he would rip it off and swallow it right in front of my face, because the dynamic, the power would have shifted right there. He would see me as disadvantaged. I'd fall down like that. He's going to go in for the grab, okay? And
so do you understand why black people are in the position that they are? Do you understand? Now, people, yes, times have kind of changed. Everybody's suffering and blah, 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 because they have to make it look like it's normalized. But at the same time, there's a gray area, and you all know there's a gray area. A lot of you don't want to speak about the gray area, but this is exactly how he's explaining what to do with the crocodile, how far to stay away from the crocodile, stuff like that, is exactly how black people are treated like animals. Whether we believe it or not, now we can say white people are also treated that way in this day and age. Every race, some parts of every race, like there's poverty and stuff, so people are feeling that kind of thing. But it's just not on the same level, though, is it, ladies and gentlemen? So, yeah, we may all bleed the same. We may all fall over and cut our legs in the same place and whatever. But it seems to be there are more of a certain race falling over and cutting their leg in the same place and not really getting it fixed than any other. Now, that's the point. You get it? But anyway, let's keep going.
That's something I really try to get people to understand, is they will change their behavior based on what's going on in the environment. And as long as I am my normal self and I'm in control of the situation, he's aware of that. And he's not going to...
They will change their behavior based on what's going on in their environment. That goes to all races, especially black people. I'm working on the black people right now, you understand? So they will change their, based on their environment. Well, that is very true. Let's take blacks in the UK versus blacks in America. Or we can say, look at the blacks in Chicago versus the blacks in Hollywood. Stuff like that. You know what I'm trying to say? So the environment, look at the environment, based on the environment. Do you understand?
To attack me as long as I am upright, in control of the situation like we are right now. He's totally fine. But again, you fall down next to him, he sees opportunity, he's going to try to take you down. Okay, so that's something, you know, I really.
They won't attack me. See, I'm just gonna refer this to like black situations, black cases, and stuff like that, right? Let me rewind it because I just threw myself off.
Situation like we are right now, he's totally fine. But again, you fall down next to him, he sees opportunity, he's going to try to take you down. Okay, so that's something, you know, I really try to get people to understand. Now, also, I'm moving over this way a little bit. I try to anticipate such things. That's why you'll see me, I'm always kind of off center like this, and I stay outside of kind of his range. Now, right now, I'm still within his range, but I'm far enough away, but within his range that if he were to react, I can get myself out of the danger in time. So I'm always ready for that, and I'm always ready for if things go south. Because that was obviously, you know, I instigated that on purpose, you know, for the sake of the video. But there can be things that I don't perceive that can happen that can influence his behavior or trigger him in some way. And so we always have to be ready. And that's why I'll be kind of off center like this, kind of out of the way. In most of my videos, you see I'm over to the side. I'm not right here. This is that strike zone. So he moves in that arc right there. And especially right over here is where, like, you're almost inescapable. I mean, even you see right now, I'm moving my hand like there. I'm not moving it within that center right there because even with my speed and reflexes, if you're that close, you might not make it, you know? When I do the hand slap, I'm doing that as a motion where I'm already moving away, and so I'm not gonna get grabbed. You know, I know how to do that. See what I mean? Hi. And then, like, I'll do that, and I'll let him know, see? And that's me letting him know, like, hey, I'm my normal self, you know, I'm not disadvantaged, I'm not going to be potential prey for you, you know, or I'll move out to this area, so I'm on this side of him, and I'm not within that range he has right there to potentially be grabbed, okay? So these are some things that I'll take as a precaution. But anyways, back to the focal point, though, is that behavior will change. It can change for things that you may not understand as well. And so that's why, even if you've worked with an animal for a long time,
back to the racist thing, back to the black thing, the behavior can change. They can change for things that you won't understand. White people and other races, should I say, not just white people. Sorry, I keep saying white people like that, but all other races other than black people, right, don't understand black suffering. They don't understand the black pain. They question it. They say, how come they moan about slavery and there wasn't even a part of slavery? They say all sorts of different things. They don't get it, right? Do you understand what he's saying? Do you understand why I've recorded this video? It's like a teaching method that not only they use with animals, but they're also used on blacks. Now, I'm not saying this is factual, but listen to the words. You know, if I stay arm's length away from, let's say, like, I'm always going to refer to racism, right? Like slavery. So if I stay arm's length away from this slave right here, I can control him to a level and keep myself safe. So I'm getting all these from the way he's talking about how to train or deal with this animal. I've took my mind to that level. So most of y'all are watching this and just looking at it as like a wildlife thing. He's talking about the crocodile. I said, no, look past that for a minute. Look at the teaching method. Because when he's talking, it reminds me, or I recognize these words like, I don't know. I don't even know. But it just comes across. It's just ringing bells in my head. Do you understand? Just this whole method, the methods that they're saying, and you know, it just seems a lot of like, it's just a controlling slavery method, which it is, because it's slavery for animals, and blacks went through slavery as too. You understand? And a lot of people are also going to say, well, we went through slavery too, and we did. Yeah, you did, but not as long as we did, innit? Y'all weren't the chosen ones for slavery because your bodies all broke down and y'all died quick. See, that's what, look in your history, look at the history in it. Look at the history in it. Get me? The only slaves to outlast any other people on the planet are the blacks. Get me? Do you understand? That's why we was a worthy components, whatever the word is, for that task. Well, it's not even that. Well, yeah, it is much more to it than that. But yeah, as you can see, because a lot of people, even whites, were slaved. You know what I'm trying to say? A lot of people, at some point, right, every people of their country went through a little bit of slavery at the point of building it. Do you understand? But yeah, anyway, let's go back to this.
Things can change, like one of the Panthers. I raised her from a baby. She's only tried to kill me once, but one time she tried to rip my throat out, and she was probably about 6 years old at that point. So that's the full adult animal, and she'd never tried anything like that before. And then one thing triggered her, tried to rip my throat out, and I had to fight her off, and she'd lunge for my throat, and I grabbed her and tried to push her down, and lunge right for my throat again, and push her down, and try to get to the door and lunge for my throat again, and full on trying to end my life. And
so you see that? Now think of it as a slavery aspect. So you got yourself a slave, and the slave tried to take his opportunity to escape, because it's a slave, right? Like an animal, the whatever animal he's talking about, a bear right now or something, he said, tried to take his opportunity and leave. For that, the whole time the slave master thought he had true dominance over the slave. He thought it was actually cool. The slave was like, the animal, or the slave was actually happy being a slave. You get it? And then one day tried to, you know what I'm trying to say? Look at the stories of cinema. I guess that's why they used to say black people are animals, right? Because they used to try and treat them like animals, right? Just listen to the method. I hope all of y'all are picking up what I'm dropping. I hope y'all are all picking this shit up while I'm dropping. And your mind's moving slow right now, even though it is early in the morning.
And what triggered her? I have no idea to this day. And that's what it means to be a wild animal. They're going to do things, they're going to change their behavior based on things that, again, we don't understand. They can be triggered by other influences in the environment, or their own thoughts that, you don't know, you can't predict. So that's why you always have to be at the ready and always assume they'll bite. Because everybody in the videos, if you ever read my comments, oh my God, if you ever read my comment section, people are like, I can read his aura and I know he'll never hurt you because I watched for 20 seconds and didn't bite you, so now I know everything about this animal. People are nuts. So that's why, I'm always trying to be...
Right? Even a slave master would say, never trust a slave. Right? It's common sense. And I hope people understand what I'm doing. I'm not doing this because he's a white man and he's saying all this. No, I'm just trying to make people listen, just listen to what he's saying, and then adapt that method and understand how the animal kind of felt and then reacted. Like these men as the master, the slave, let's just call it slavery, right? I want you to just put your mind in that position, right? So whether it's slavery to animals, slavery to people, but they take these positions, and after so long, they think everything's cool, but but at the same time, their experience shows that everything isn't cool. These animals or people are waiting for the opportunity to escape. So the methods is telling you about the animals. Apply that to the humans too, how it was back then, or is still now in some countries, right? That's all I'm trying to say.
At the ready and keep it in my mind that, even if he hasn't tried to bite me for the last 5 years, today he might. He's a wild animal, and you have to respect that and always be ready for it. So sometimes, talking about being ready, I'll notice something in their behavior that, my subconscious notices. I would say, my lizard brain notices, but, my forebrain, I don't notice it. And this happens a lot. So sometimes I'll see something, I'm like, something's off. Somebody's like, well, how did you know? And I'm like, I don't know how I knew. I instinctually, sometimes I'll know, something's weird. He's going to do something, and I have that happen a lot where I'm like, he's going to do something. I don't know what he's going to do, but I'll be ready for it, and I see that a lot with different animals I'm working with, or even sometimes when I'm looking for wild animals, I've had literally where I stop and I look at a patch of brush and I'm like, oh, there's something there. And I'm like, I can't see it, but my inner self can see it, or whatever. I don't know how to explain the dichotomy there, but I will see something that my consciousness doesn't see, but my instinctual self can see, and I'll stop and be like, there's something there. And I'll just literally stare, and then boom, there's a snake right there. And it's really weird and cool. So like, I don't know, like you tap into that like instinctual part of your brain. So I kind of have the same thing happen with these guys where I am aware that something is up, and I'll be very cautious, and then they'll do something. And I'm like, I don't know how I noticed that. I don't know what it was that triggered.
You are aware that something's up. Well, let me tell you something, mate. Something will always be up while you capture things. Take from out of nature into captivity. Something will always be up. So yes, that's paranoia, something on your mind. That's automatic. That's built within you. You understand? That's through generation of wealth, should I say. And that's not no diss. That's just a fact.
But I do notice sometimes things like that. And like I got George on camera right now helping me film this. And same thing. He's had experiences like that too, right?
So in one of my experiences working with Chris, the same exact thing kind of happened to me where I was going to walk in the water towards a gator that I normally would have done on multiple occasions without any issue. But for whatever reason, the same thing, my lizard brain kicked in and I kind of picked up on something that I couldn't totally understand. But since I kind of didn't have a logical reason behind it, I didn't listen to my instinct. And when I did take that step forward, and granted from my position, I had no reason to be afraid because I'm looking at the gator. It has its eyes closed, not moving, not giving me any real reason to be afraid. And that first step, it lunged out of the water towards me. And of course, I was able to jump back with no issue whatsoever. But that was quite a wacky experience for me to experience.
I remember that happened. You were like super freaked out, you know, because it's like, whoa, you know, like when the first time you have that happen, you're like, how did I know? You know, and it's like really kind of confusing because it's like, again, like you don't know, but something in you knows and picks up on it. And it's really cool and interesting, you know, and like you kind of like get in touch with like the animal side of you or however you want to phrase it. But it's really weird and interesting for sure. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you learned a lot from it. Leave any comments. Let us know what you think. And as always, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed this video, and I hope, like I'm saying, people picked up what I was dropping. You know what I'm trying to say? I was just trying to show like a resemblance in, maybe you would call it their training, their understanding, their I don't know, their blueprint in how to take in control. I just found it interesting. The words he was using, and then how, through my research about stuff that I know, my history and stuff like that, things I feel, you know what I'm saying, how I could paint a picture with the words that he was using, which resembled to like slavery, you know, and at the same time slavery of animals too, and then the pain of the people of the planet, what they're going through, who's going through the worst. And obviously I could adapt it to black people the most, you know, but I just found it very interesting how methods stay the same, I guess. I don't know even know what I'm saying. Well, I know what I'm saying, but yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to chop it up with y'all. I hope people, like I said before, picked up what I was dropping, you know. And yeah, you capture anything, human or animal, they're always gonna hold a grudge. Remember that, you know. Especially when you're not answering questions or giving people what they're owed, right? There will forever be a grudge. So once you understand that, then understand the pain that you made. You get me? Peace, 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 peace. I'm out. Blessings. First comes the calm, then the storm. You know what I'm saying? Make up porn. but I'm sick of it though, you know. Ayo, I said I'm sick of it though. First comes the storm, then comes the rain. Then we feel the pain, the strain, over and over and over again. Why you like this kind of lane? You keep arguing with me. You keep arguing with me. Why you keep stressing me out? You love now arguing with me. Why you keep troubling, bothering me? Every time I come and sit on the city, trying to chill, relax to get me. All you do is want to fuck with me. My brain be going insane. Simple and plain, I ask myself again, what do I do to deserve this? All you do is take the piss. Now girl, why don't you sit down? Girl, why don't you move that frown? All you wanna do is drag me down when I come back home to my town. Oh no, you better stop this shit, I'm sick of it. Man, go and rub two sticks together, I make you get a fire. Burn your head up, burn your head up. Why you wanna try and push your luck? If you got another man, just say that shit, then you can go on about your business. Go on about your business. If you got another man, just say that shit, and I won't be all up in your business. I'm done. Hey yo. Why you wanna bring up bothering me? What's going on? You now can tell me what's good. Now you moving kind of weird though. You should go out the window. Every day I come back to this window, and you won't even tell me what smoke is. Is it indo? Out though. You soon go pack your bags, cause I've had enough of this. Unless you can change this shit up. Keep pushing your damn luck. Like I done something wrong, but I keep it now 10 toes down. Just move that frown, move it away. Don't let me have to say these words a second.